Hello everyone, hi, how are you guys doing? Welcome back to another episode of a Doctor Who reaction. This is Road Live, my name is Matt. So, last episode on Doctor Who, we had an episode. Um, it's funny because I watched it and I was like, I don't know about this one. And then the previous episode, Spyfall Part 2, aired on YouTube, and several people said, yeah, okay, this episode is really good. The next one isn't, though. And I'm like, yeah, I can tell, kinda. You know, I even made a Patreon post just saying, like, I don't know how I feel about that episode, and someone went like, yeah, they just hit that episode right after Spyfall, so nobody would know. And I'm like, okay, so and I've been told that is apparently the worst episode in the season, because even before I started the season, someone said like the season is like every episode is good except for like one, and I'm like, was that the one? Maybe it is. So that's good to know. It's good to know that from here on out it's just gonna be smooth sailing. Maybe we'll see. Yeah, we had Orphan 55. We met Future Earth, but it's not even Future Earth. It's like a different timeline where humans made good choices, which could also be our timeline. We just don't know about that because the future is not yet decided. Like, it was like end of Back to the Future 3 kind of shit, and we don't work on those rules here. You know, it was weird, and in the final bit was like a little bit cringy, but whatever. You know, like, yeah, we've seen worse. But anyway, that was Orphan 55. Moving on from that shit, we're moving into episode 4. And here's the thing, is that episode 4 in series 11 was Arachnids in the UK. So, I don't know if, like, okay, so this episode has like the lowest bar set possible, because I'm comparing it to Arachnids in the UK, and I'm also comparing it to Orphan 55. So now I'm watching this episode and I'm just gonna be like, just give me something, man. That's just gonna be my approach to this one. So hopefully that'll be it. Yeah, I think we're just ready to go. Not much to talk about previous week. So yeah, Doctor Who series 12, episode 4. Let's go. Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror. Okay. Talk about a spoiler in the... Maybe not a spoiler because frame 1 is the first person we're gonna see, yeah. Okay, sure. I like this. Yeah.
I plan to harness these forces of nature on a scale never seen before. A way for each of us to reach beyond our immediate sphere into every corner of the Earth.
The small investment of $50,000.
$50,000?
Small price to pay to transmit energy through the ether. With no wires.
You mean flying around in the air? Poppycock. They're even more far-fetched than those Mars stories that we've all been hearing about.
Did in fact receive a feeble electrical signal, and I calculate it comes from Mars. But,
Alright. Who was this?
Oh dear.
Alright, that's just some alien bullshit then. Is that the doctor? I see like a code or something. Yeah, that's the doctor. Who was the other person? Oh shit! We're having an art adventure in the background. What's happening? Okay, never mind. A Sith is following us. Alright. Hey!
Full speed, straight to New York. I'm the doctor, by the way. Why don't you tell me who you are and who's shooting at you? Dorothy Scarrett.
I'm Nikola Tesla, and I assure you I have no idea.
Tesla.
Yeah! Just realized.
I knew you looked familiar.
Yeah, right?
Tell me Nikola Tesla. Who?
Nicholas Summon?
Total
Oh my
genius.
god.
I always...
Really? Nice!
I'll take that.
Run. Okay, he doesn't need a gun. He has his Darth Sith powers.
Silurian.
Yeah, it's a Sith.
I said, have you seen anything weird? And there's one important thing you failed to mention.
You're...
Hand it over.
This is one of the most miraculous things I've seen in my life. It's a mystery I intend to solve.
We're not letting you out of our sights until we've worked this out. So where's this lab then?
Who are they?
Protesters. What are they protesting about?
Me.
There he is!
dangerous. Go back to Mars.
How many more people have to die before you admit your machines aren't safe?
My inventions never hurt
Isn't it true your
anyone.
last invention caused an
Oh
earthquake?
my
Those were
God.
only mild
Why are
tremors.
you building weapons on Long Island? Mr. Tesla isn't building any kind of weapon or going to answer any questions. Excuse me.
Boy, lunatic, you don't belong in America.
I'm an American citizen. And you are trespassing in front of my land.
They wouldn't recognize genius if it hit them in the face.
You alright?
Absolutely, yeah. Their opinions do not affect me.
Yeah, the shit don't bother. Her face just like,
Tesla's lab.
I know, right?
This is gonna be something special.
Might not be as great as you think it is.
I won't lie. I was expecting more.
So, Tesla, is he something to do with the cars then?
Oh my
Well,
God.
they're named after him. He's a famous inventor, isn't he, Doc?
Nikola Tesla dreams up the 20th century before it happens. Before you have X-rays, Tesla has shadowgraphs. Before you have drones, Tesla has automatons. Before Marconi gets the patent for radio, they have to take it from Tesla because he invents it first. Alternating currents helps electrify the world. He should have been the first billionaire by now if he hadn't torn up his contract. Business isn't his strong point. He built these orbs as a way to spread information.
It's an information
To
capsule.
send out among the stars. As a way to share their legacy
Okay.
long after they were gone.
That's pretty neat.
His energy readings are off the charts.
But that instrument detects energy? Is it your own design?
I made it, mainly out of spoons.
You're an inventor.
I have my moments.
I knew it. So you
I like
can
this.
understand how it feels. You know, when you have an idea and to make it real, I don't think there's any greater thrill.
I couldn't agree more.
You spoke of aliens. People here would laugh at the very idea.
But not you.
Well, apparently I'm not like other people. It's difficult, you know, to feel no one else sees the world the way you do. It's like you're,
Out of place.
yeah. I thought things would be different. You know, when I first arrived in America, I had 4 cents to my name. I was robbed at the journey. But still, I thought, this is the beginning. Here I would prosper. My ideas would live.
Changing the world takes time. You have to be patient.
I try, but you saw them outside. They talk as if I was dangerous or mad.
So prove them wrong.
Ooh. Encouraging Nikola Tesla. I love this.
Excellent. Mr. Morgan is the investor behind my Warden Cliff project.
And he just cancelled
With
you.
his help,
Didn't he? He just dropped off.
Who's that?
That was Harold Green, one of Edison's men.
As in Thomas Edison, light bulb guy.
Of course, it's Edison. He's plagued me every step of my career.
Edison champions a rival form of electric current to Mr. Tesla's AC.
Direct current. Of course, he would champion something so slow and inefficient. That man is a liar and a thief.
Are we saying Thomas Edison is after the orb of Thassaur?
Time we paid a visit to Mr. Thomas Edison.
This is a good episode.
This isn't a business opportunity. Someone tried to shoot us with it just before we caught an employee of yours spying on Nikola Tesla. Someone's trying to steal from him, and he seems pretty sure it's you.
Does he now? Ma'am, I may keep an eye on my rivals, but I do not steal. I have no need to. There are 1,000 patents in the Edison name.
How much of those are yours, dude?
He heard me say I'd pay $50,000 to the man who could fix my generator. He worked on that thing day and night for a year, and he did it.
And you, being the upstanding businessman, paid every last cent, I presume.
I offered him a $10 raise. He quit and chose to dig. Man just didn't understand the American sense of humor.
Here's the thing, though, is that the setting for this episode, I've heard some shit about it. Not the episode itself. I heard some shit about Tesla and Edison already.
Imagine if wherever you were able to hear music or the speech of a great leader or conjure a map of what lay beyond. That's what I propose with Wardenclyffe, all of human knowledge shared freely.
Now that sounds like the future.
It will change the world. Why can't anyone else see that?
Do you guys not see his glowing eyes? I guess now you can see the glow and electricity coming out of this. Okay.
Harold, what's the matter with him?
That's not Harold Green.
Oh.
No human readings.
Oh, he just took his form thing.
It's a real Harold
Yeah.
Green.
He just took his
Whatever's
body.
chasing us is projecting his image and using it to keep his true self hidden.
He's just gonna make some shit up.
Ammonium nitrate, bit of green stuff. Where's your zinc?
Zinc, have you lost your damn Oh,
Finally thinking like a scientist.
The orb is emitting huge amounts of energy.
So we're using it?
Pulsing, like a siren or radar.
Radar?
Using energy waves to work out what's around you. It's just a theory.
I've been working on a similar theory myself.
Ring of fire?
Plenty more where that came from.
Okay, that's a true form. What is he running into? We're just not gonna see because imitations. Yeah.
what in God's name?
Show me.
Don't let anyone in!
Oh boy.
Tell Dorothy! Lock every door!
Oh, they're already in. You're Nikola Tesla. You're about. Oh, they took you away. Okay. Okay, you know what? It's scorpions. It's not spiders. I'm cool. Okay, as long as it's not spiders, we're cool. I can take scorpions.
Welcome, Nikola Tesla.
Wait. Is this a Ragnos? Was it the Ragnos? The fucking bitch from The Runaway Bride. Look a lot like her. Except not black but red. Is Thomas Edison inside the TARDIS?
Luckily, high-speed invention.
Yes. Oh my god. I wanted to see Thomas Edison's reaction to getting inside the TARDIS.
I was at home, you know, normal life, work, then boom, the doctor. Changed me all life.
I was the same before I met Mr. Tesla. He showed me all these discoveries that could be made.
You were like,
It seemed like
shit.
impossible things. And now, something normal.
Doesn't seem so important.
Yeah.
This is the most extraordinary.
Yes.
Is it a single machine or some kind of
It's a lot.
mechanical factory?
Don't touch anything.
Oi, you're in here strictly on the QT, right? So get those dollar signs out your eyes.
Yeah,
This little lot ain't for sale. Copyright,
There's a British accent, isn't it?
Yes.
Now there's a country who's never understood business.
Oh my god.
You can see your city, but your city cannot see us.
Okay, cloaking device.
We've gathered supplies. Now you will.
Oh, they need you to repair something, maybe.
In their real faces behind projections, they could look like anything. Be anywhere. There's no trail.
If we're looking for a trail to follow, what if Tesla already found it?
But he did. The Mars signal.
It's not good to have
Mr.
Edison
Tesla
here.
started
This box transported us halfway across New York.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, well, keep it yourself, or people say you're as crazy as Tesla. I had a supervisor like you at my old depot. And men like you don't pay a bloke that much attention unless you think there's a payout coming.
I like that.
Just because you're a genius doesn't mean you have to figure everything out on your own. We're in this together.
Your work would burn a path across the galaxies. On Earth, you are nothing.
Perhaps I will achieve nothing, but if I achieve anything, it'll be in the name of progress, and you are not my idea of progress.
I like. So angry. Oh my god.
Disagree with that.
Hey, yeah.
Nice place you've got here. This is your ship. Because it looks Venusian to me, and I'm pretty sure that's a Klendov warp drive.
Ooh, you're scavengers.
Is there a single thing on this ship that you've built yourselves?
No, you're just getting inventors for across planets.
Stolen tech, stolen faces, and now all your stolen gear is breaking down. And what do? Steal someone else to fix it.
You're
All this killing
unoriginal.
and looting, did it never occur to you to try thinking or building something instead?
Why would we build when all there is ours to take?
Rotarsh.
Can tell you what this is.
It's a camera.
Bingo.
That's stupid. Okay, we're made it back. Keep an eye on Edison.
Well, I'll be darned. She
Okay.
actually got you back.
What is he doing here?
Tesla.
He helped us a little bit.
Quite a day we're all having.
Well, not actually. He just told us where the sink is. Enter the TARDIS, Tesla. Enter the TARDIS. I want to see it.
Where are you all going?
Enter. Yeah. This will never get old. Just show me historical figures entering the TARDIS all day long. I could just watch this. Forever.
Fantastical.
I know, right?
I couldn't figure it out either.
The internal dimensions transcends the external.
Spot on.
Give us Tesla, or the planet, and all who live on it shall die.
Like creatures who would destroy the whole planet just to get their hands on me?
Recognition at last.
It's not what you wanted, but
You do realize it's killing Edison that they want you and not him.
I was thinking about that.
People would finally see what it can do, what I can do. But now no one will ever know. I have to surrender myself. There's nothing else to be done. This is beyond
We're gonna do some bullshit.
Tell me all about Wardenclyffe.
Okay, we're gonna use it.
My intention was to build a series of these towers, transmitting energy throughout the ether. A world wireless system.
That's Wi-Fi. Did Tesla have the idea for Wi-Fi?
A contraption like this, huh? Some fantastical idea no sane man would ever invest in.
Oh my god.
At least I have ideas.
You just take
filled
others.
A factory full of men to do your thinking for you.
Yeah.
Half of your inventions were thought up by other people.
Anyone can have ideas. I make them happen.
Oh my god.
You're too narrow-minded to grasp the genius of my work, and that is why you will never achieve real greatness. You're not a man of vision. You're a man of parts.
Oi, AC/DC. You two might be the greatest minds of the age, but is there any chance you can stop squabbling while we try and save the planet?
Okay, we're gonna build.
Edison, Yaz, I need you to get people off the streets. The skiffs are on their way.
Jackson, please, it's an emergency, please. Can you go inside?
That fool Tesla is still experimenting with his deadly tower. We're as good as fried if we stay outside. He's firing it up right now. Spread the word.
I mean, he's managed to do it, but
Prototype Death Ray?
Yes.
all right. Run! Wow. This is it. This one is pretty good. I like that. Thomas and shooting down eating scorpions. Yes, throwing bread at them. Get in, get in, get in. Wow, they're not that great. Those scorpions, they're kind of dumbasses.
So if we take out the Queen, take out all of them? Yes, she's still on the ship, and hopefully we're about to zap her with a lot of Wardenclyffe electricity.
There's a but.
Small detail. Once we power up the tower, the TARDIS shields will drop.
Yeah.
It'll be about 30 seconds before we can blast the ship.
Oh.
There's not enough juice for both.
Oh shit.
Don't worry, this ain't our first rodeo.
It really
I've
isn't.
never been to a rodeo.
You're not helping, Ryan.
Oh my god. We need to get the attention. Oh, I like this. I like this. I thought it was blue shit. It's like the expanse up in here. Is the Queen down there?
Let's see what this thing can do. Stay out of our left.
There's nothing. I figured.
Was this meant to be your fortress?
And what are you queen of exactly? A stolen ship and second-hand guns? A queen of shreds and patches? You're not a ruler, you're a
I
parasite.
like that.
Have you ever seen a dead planet?
I've seen more than you can possibly imagine.
And yet you still think I can be fooled by the same trick twice?
That's what's gonna come out and save her.
Nothing, I just wanted you to take it.
Oh no, it was part of the plan. Yeah, now she's gone. And now we shoot it. Let's fucking go. Wow, that was like a 200 IQ mind play. The power of electricity! They left? Wow. I don't know how we aim the electrical current into the ship, but fuck it, I'll take it. Fuck yeah.
Come work for me again.
No.
You keep working on this thing. You'll be bankrupt within the year.
Perhaps. But how could I stop now?
Just gonna keep going.
The protests, the funding. Tesla's towers just saved the world. That's gotta mean rich and famous.
No. Nothing's
For
changed.
purple, nothing
A few
changed.
years from now, Wardenclyffe is torn down. Tesla keeps on inventing, but no money, no fame. He dies penniless. History leaves him behind, but his vision of wireless energy, that does happen. A connected world, and that idea starts here with him.
That's not right. People should know.
Either way, it doesn't change what he's done.
Doctor, you have to let me study that machine of yours. It is by far the most magnificent invention I've ever seen in my life.
You've got enough magnificent inventions of your own.
You're right. Of course, there's so much to be done. Thank you.
Don't give up.
Whatever anyone says.
The present is theirs. I work for the future. And the future is mine.
Shall we?
Woo! Woo! That episode was really good. I really like that episode. I had big Rosa vibes with that episode. Which is funny because it wasn't... Who wrote this episode? I don't know the name of this man. I don't remember. But I know that it wasn't... Okay, so it was Nina Met... I apologize for mispronouncing your last name because I'm not getting it on the first shot. Nina Metivier. Metivier. I don't know. Nina. That episode was fire. I really liked that episode. And it really gave me big Rosa vibes. Because it's like... We meet that historical figure who has a really hard life. And we know that. And that will not change. But we're like paying homage to this historical figure. Because it is one of those very unfortunate people that looking back at history, we look at them and we go like, that person really knew what's up. That person really knew what's up. In a time where nobody else did. And nobody else even tried. And as a result, nobody gave a shit. And that person had a really hard time as a result. So that's what we had. It gave me Break Rosa vibes because it made me feel in the exact same way I felt during Rosa. You know, like the racism was uncomfortable. It really was. But with this episode, we had less that, or not of that, because that wasn't a thing. But it was more about just someone that envisioned the future. And they will continue to do so. But this will come at the cost of them not having the greatest of lives. But looking back at it, we can all just say, man, hell yeah, Nikola Tesla, right? And I'm gonna just open Wikipedia right now and I'm gonna start doing some reading. Because here's the thing about Nikola Tesla. Is he so like an obscure inventor that like Ryan nor Yas nor Graham knew him? Like, is that a thing? Or is it just because they're British? I'm Argentinian, dude, so it's like, no, that doesn't apply. So, because like, I knew this dude. I knew him. So when I saw him in the title, I'm like, yo, really? We're doing Tesla? Okay, sure. And then I also read some shit about him and Edison, right? Because I knew for a fact that Edison is the guy who is attributed as to like the father of electricity, while Tesla was considered to be someone that was a visionary, but he never really got anything out of it. And I also knew that there was a thing going on between the two of them, and Edison was like, I'm not sure how much of the portrayal of Edison was true this episode, where he was just like a massive capitalist businessman, you know? He was kind of an asshole. But at the end of the episode, he was like, all right, you know, like, respect. Which I enjoyed a lot, but I'm not sure how much of that was dramatized. He died in New York in January 1943. Tesla's work fell into relative obscurity following his death until 1960, when the General Conference of Weights and Measures named the SI unit of magnetic flux density the Tesla in his honor. There has been a resurgence in popular interest in Tesla since the 1990s. Okay, so that's very interesting to me. That's interesting to me. Because, okay, now I get it a little bit more. Because, like, here's the thing, is that I knew about Tesla. But, I didn't necessarily know about the presence of Tesla in the general, like in the general knowledge of the general public, I guess. So it makes so much more sense reading that on his wiki article. Like it has to be a thing for it to be right there on like the first part of his Wikipedia article. The fact that he just fell into obscurity. So I like that we're having an episode around that then, because like I knew Tesla, I just didn't necessarily know about all the details. I just knew what I heard. And I also read a couple things, but not that much. So there you go. I really like that we're revisiting all these historical figures that are maybe like stories that fall into obscurity to some degree. I mean, not that much in this case, because I feel like, dude, like I'm looking at this wiki article right now. It's pretty long, so like it's not that obscure for him in this case. Neither was for Rosa Parks that much, but it's one of those things where it's like we need to visit these historical figures because man, they really saw the future, or they saw what things should be like, and they didn't get the recognition they deserve. And I like the Doctor who is like, you know what? Let's give them the recognition. They will never see it because they're dead now. But I feel like part of writing episodes like this one is like out of respect, and the other part is just like so people can just know, because like there's definitely a massive audience of people, including me. Like I knew about him, but I didn't know a lot, right? That is just gonna watch this and they're gonna go like, oh, yeah, Tesla, man, let's go, you know? And that alone is just something that is like, that is now knowledge that is imparted on my brain. I know that Tesla didn't fight scorpion aliens from Mars and took them down with his like tower or whatever with the help of Thomas Edison and the Doctor. Like I know that didn't happen, right? But it just paints the vision of this historical figure much better on your mind than just hearing the name about it just mentioned and just like reading like a couple sentences about him, you know? So that helps a lot more, and I like that. The same applies to like Rosa Parks. The same applies to like Vincent van Gogh, dude. Like we remember those episodes. And this is another one that enters the realm of like that group of Doctor Who episodes that are built around a historical figure, and there's some alien bullshit happening or whatever, but we meet them, we get to see what's happening, and it's like, yo, that person, mad respect, you know? That's how I feel about this episode. I just really love it. I just really love everything about it. So this episode was fantastic, and even like going back to Spyful Part 2, where we had Ada Lovelace and like Noor Inayat Khan. I remember, don't worry about it. But it's like those are also people that are minor historical figures. Like I would say that they're lesser known than Tesla, maybe. Especially Noor Inayat Khan, because she was just like a spy and she had a terrible ending. Both of them did. But like it's one of those things where it's like we're just revisiting a bunch of historical figures and it's like, yeah, and they're helping us and they're cool. And now those names are floating around the internet nowadays because Doctor Who brought them back a little bit. Not to say that Tesla wasn't big enough already, but like Norina Yat Khan, really? That's a pull. For sure. Now I know about that woman, you know? I'm just going on and on about the historical sense of some of these episodes, but that's like my favorite thing. I'm not even gonna lie. Historical episodes are like my favorites in the show. Not even lying. That they're just like my favorites, and like because we get episodes where there's some sci-fi alien bullshit happening, but that's it. And we also have like a sci-fi bullshit alien setting. And that's like a little bit more boring. It's just like, yeah, sure, whatever. Planet, what up? But then we have some episodes where we have a really good concept and we're just executing amazingly, and that makes for a really good episode as well. Like the Moffat era was just filled with like really good concepts. He also had really weird and shitty concepts too. But when he had good concepts, it was like, yo, heaven sent, right? But I think that the most like the ones that I enjoy the most as like a just a general rule, because every single time I look at one of these, it's pretty solid. It's the historical figure episodes, not even historical figure, just historical. As long as we go back in time, but historical figure is just like the icing on the cake, dude. It makes it so much better. So I just want the entire 13th Doctor era to just going back to the past and meeting historical figures. That's all I want at this point. At this point, just they've shown me enough that I'm like, fuck it, let's do it. Let's just do that and nothing else. That's all I want. If the show is nothing but that, I'm just like, yeah, I'm in. I'm fucking in, dude. Like, that's it. This era of the show is just gonna be one of my favorites immediately if they do that. Because like, we had Rosa, we had Demons of the Punjab, which it wasn't a historical figure, but it was a historical setting, with really, really good messages and topics that were explored. We also had Spyfall Part 2, where it wasn't much of a setting, but it was characters. And and like the clash between the characters and whatever setting we're doing. And then we had this with Tesla, and I'm like, bro, I want an entire season worth of historicals now. Like at the very least, if the 13th Doctor, if has 3 seasons, I want at least 10 episodes to be historicals. We're at 4. We can do better than that, okay? We can go further, okay? I want at least 10. I don't know if there's going to be more in this season. I desperately want them to be more in this season, okay? That's all I want. I don't know what figures we're going to explore, but they'll figure out. I just want to watch them, man. Man, and like, I like that it's specifically figures that didn't get the recognition they deserve back in the day. Like, it's different to just like glorify someone that is already glorified versus glorifying someone that had a really rough time back then, because it makes you empathize more. And it does really make you think of like, oh man, sucks for this guy. I remember you, Nikola Tesla. Shit like that. And it's weird because it's not even a person that I even knew personally. So it's like, it is already being glorified, but it's still like, come on, man, this guy deserved better for the amount of work that he put into this shit. So there you go. I just been avoiding talking about the episode I've just been talking about how cool the whole thing is. But I'm just gonna skim through the episode real quick, see if there's anything we're mentioning. I like how frantic the first like couple minutes of the episode were. Like the first like 8 minutes, it's like, what the fuck is happening? Because right away we see this. I like that the title of the episode was just like, hey, we got a Tesla in here, and I'm like, isn't that a spoiler? And it's like, no, because the first character we see 5 seconds in is Nikola Tesla, and it's like, okay, sure. So we get to see him, we get to see his life, we get to see a little bit of like him trying to get funding or whatever. And the Doctor just runs in there. She just runs in there. It's like, whoa, really? What were you doing here? And then she just gets into the Orient Express, and Graham, Yaz, and Ryan are just sitting there, and it's like, oh, sure. All right, an episode was happening, we just weren't watching. We were just following Nikola Tesla, man. So, I like the personality that Tesla had, as well as Edison, and I like that neither of them were perfect. I want to point that out. I want to point that Nikola Tesla in this episode wasn't perfect. It's kind of easy to miss, I feel like. But like at moments he was like, don't they recognize a genius when they see it? It's like a little bit egotistical to say shit like, I'm a genius, I can see the future. It's like, it's a little bit too much. Right? And this is just talking about the characters within the episode, by the way, because it's weird whenever you do shit like this, because it's like, I'm not talking about the historical figure that I never met because he died like a century before I was born. More than that. For sure, more than that. Yeah, like 150 years before I was born, almost. you know, more. So like, yeah, I didn't know that person personally, so I'm not talking shit on them. But it's like, I like how in this episode these characters were a little bit flawed because Stella was a little bit not for the most part egotistical. He really wasn't up until he has those moments where he's like defending himself and defending the things that he does. It's like, I'm a genius. Like, I can do this shit, you know, or like I can figure it out. And it's like, sure, buddy. But then you have Edison, and he's so much of a dick that it's like almost like ridiculous because he was like such like a fucking asshole capitalist. That's what he was, because he was more a businessman than he was an inventor. He was just like, I'm gonna hire so many people to do the work for me, to do the thinking for me. I'm just gonna fund it and make sure that it gets done, but I'm not gonna do the thinking. And it's like, okay, sure, you know, sure. We have established now Tesla and Edison, and it's like, to up to what I read before watching this episode. I just kind of read it like at one time, some time ago, so I don't remember very well. But it was like, yeah, that's more or less what I remember. That's more or less what I thought the situation was about, you know, with Tesla and Edison. So I like that that was a thing. I like that both of them were characters in this episode. Tesla gets the more protagonistic side, while Edison gets the more antagonistic side, because obviously Tesla is like, I want to make things, and I really like some of the scenes they had, especially with the one he had with the doctor very early on in the episode, where he's like, you're an inventor like me, so you know what it's like to like, how good it feels when you have an idea and then you finally do it and it's there and it works and it becomes like a physical thing, you know? It becomes real, not just a thought. And she's like, there's nothing better than that. And it's like, and then they start talking about alien stuff, and he's like, people have been calling me crazy for something that I thought I saw or heard or whatever with more shit. And he was like, but you don't feel that way, and it's like, feeling like that feels like you're out of place, like you don't belong, or like that nobody else sees the world the way you do. And it's like, oh, that is really good. Oh, that is really good dialogue, man. I really, really enjoyed that dialogue between him and the doctor. That was fantastic. And those are the moments that make you feel like, Tesla, you the man, you know? Moving forward, we had to see Edison, and he's such an asshole because the first thing he says when we meet him is like, well, no, he's talking shit on Tesla. And he's just saying he's so good. And then the second time we talk to him, when he's in his office, he's like, he's asking who has the patent for that gun. It's like, I want to sell that shit. Who do you talk to sell that shit? It's like, fuck you. And every facet of the conversation that happened in that room, it was like, oh my god, you're such an asshole, right? So they kept showing you that Edison was kind of a dick, just like a tiny bit of a dick, because he kept saying shit that was really along the lines of like, I want money. I don't care about how incredible this is. I care about how much money I can make out of it. And it's like, fuck you. And even he had even that moment where Graham was like, dude, fucking shut up with that shit. And then Edison was like, that accent's, you're British. You British. You never know the way it is with money. It's like, with business, something like that. Just like a complete asshole. And even when we were at like Tesla's workshop and Edison was there, I was like, this guy, keep an eye on him. And I like that they actually brought that up, because I was just waiting for the moment for Edison to backstab us. He didn't backstab us to the weird, creepy scorpion aliens. By the way, the alien queen, whatever her name was, the scorpion alien queen, her actress was pretty good doing doing some of those facial expressions with that shit on top. That was pretty good. So good job to her. She had like really open eyes and her mouth was like it's like good job. So I was just waiting for Edison to backstab us in some way, and he didn't, and that actually kind of surprised me. And I was thinking that it was either gonna go one or the other direction. And the first direction I thought was gonna be is that he was either gonna buddy up with Tesla, and at the end of the episode they were gonna be buddies in some way, or he was gonna backstab us. And like the way it was being built up across the episode, I was thinking that he was gonna backstab us. I was thinking that like we didn't have enough build up for him to be cool at the end of the episode, so it has to be the backstab. But then it wasn't. He actually did buddy up at the end of the episode. He just didn't really do anything to help. You know, he was just there when it happened, and then he was like, Tesla, gotta give it to you. That should work. You save us. Good job, man. So we can assume that at the end he stopped talking shit on Tesla. He stopped saying, yeah, that guy's a madman, he's an asshole. Even though he did in order to get people away. So I guess that worked. But like I don't know if it tarnished his reputation any further. Maybe he started talking nicely about him after all, but we know that Tesla didn't do well in the years to come, so that kind of sucks. Anyway, I like the moment where he just stepped on the TARDIS. Like, when Edison was inside the TARDIS, we didn't get to see his first time. So I was, like, a little bit bummed out because of that. But when Tesla stepped inside the TARDIS, that was the first time reveal that we saw. And I'm like, yeah, that's a good shit. That's what I want to see. I want to see. Actually, give me a second. Give me a fucking second. Okay, youtube.com, TARDIS compilation of historical figures. Is there anything here? There's a historical figures compilation in the official Doctor Who channel, uploaded 2 months ago. All TARDIS enters 1963 to 2017. Top 10 historical... Okay, so I guess we don't really get that. I guess we really don't get... There was a top 10 historical characters, but in the thumbnail, Peter Capaldi from Deep Breath was in it. There was no historical characters in Deep Breath. Did they just Google Peter Capaldi Doctor Who and hit that picture of him, even though they wanted to use the picture of the Pompeii episode? Okay, never mind. I'm not talking shit on other YouTube channels. That's not what I'm gonna do. But... So... I'm sure, yeah, like, that's the first time getting inside the TARDIS was the good shit. That's what I want to see. And he was like, this is incredible. And then they just started working on his tower. That, it sucks that in real life, the Wardenclyffe Tower didn't actually get to do anything. Because it just didn't get the funding. So that sucks. Oh my god, that sucks. I'm reading about the Wardenclyffe Tower here in Wikipedia. In an attempt to satisfy Tesla's debts, the tower was demolished for scrap in 1917, and the property taken in foreclosure in 1922. For 50 years, Wardenclyffe was a processing facility producing photography supplies. Many buildings were added to the site, and the land it occupies has been trimmed down to 16 acres. But the original 94 by 94 feet brick building designed by Stanford White remains standing to this day. The building survived, but the tower is gone, and it was really just torn apart for scrap, just so he could pay his debts. In an attempt to satisfy the debts, not even paying all of them, because I read that he kept going from like hotel and not paying the bills, and that's how he survived. So like, that kind of sucks. In 2018, the property was listed on the National Register of Historic Places. That's good. At least we have that. That sucks about the tower. But like, what I wanted to say is that it's at least kind of cool that the tower didn't really get to do anything in real life, right? Didn't get the funding to be completed. It just that was the end of that. But it did stop an alien invasion. So we retcon the Warrenclyffe Tower actually being useful to humanity in this Doctor Who episode. So that's good. I like that. I like that we actually did that. I like that we used the Warrenclyffe Tower in order to solve the problem. We could have solved the problem other ways, but it's like, no. The thing that you built, Tesla, that's what's going to save us. Your mind is going to save us. And that was great. I like that a lot. There's also something to be said about the antagonist of the episode being a race of scavengers that... Not even scavengers. They just steal shit from other civilizations. And then they just steal people from said civilizations. And they get them to do their work for them. And then you just kill them. And that's it. Like, that's all they do. They just go and murder and kill and kidnap figures, and then those people can build for you, just engineers in general, and then that's it. Like, and I like that the entire everything that they use, the ships, the parts, everything is just taken from other civilizations. Like, nothing it's of original design. So there is something to be said about like that idea of an antagonist compared to what we have in as the main thing in the episode, which is like invention, creation, and how good it feels to think about something, to have the ideas, and then to actually make them reality, seeing them happen. And in this case, with the antagonist, is like, you have no ideas. There's nothing original about you. You just take parts from other people. You just take grid mans for other civilizations to do the shit for you. You take other people's shapes and figures. Like, you don't even go out on your own figures. You just take other people's faces and use that. It's like, there's nothing original about you, right? So you have no right to do any of this shit because you're built on just... I like the Doctor was just like, you're the queen of scraps. It's like, that's all your shit is. It's just pieces from that other people have done for you, that you've stolen from other people. You own nothing. You own nothing. So that was a fun thing, a fun clash regarding the antagonist and the protagonist side of this story. At the end of the day, it feels like a really good like episode to like think about Tesla and be like, yo, that guy was alright. And he was a visionary for the future, man. And he had a really rough life because nobody gave a shit about that back in the day. And the other people that did cool shit, they got the recognition. Addison got the recognition. Tesla didn't. We need to focus on the guy that didn't. Because history shouldn't forget that. I'm glad it didn't. So I like this episode a lot. I like what it's doing. I like the structure. I like what the problem was. I like the solution. I like everything about it. I want to say that the visuals in the episode were pretty good. I really like when they were like running from the scorpions in the city and they were like moving and crashing into shit. It looked really good. It actually looked really good. The CG in this season is like, for the most part, is really good. And whenever they have a good idea and they execute it well, I'm like, yeah, that's good. That's good shit. So yeah, just kudos for the visual of this episode, the ideas in this episode, the respect given in this episode to the historical figures, Tesla. Everything. It's just really solid. I really like this episode a lot, not gonna lie. I like it more than like almost all of Series 11. Not almost all of it, but like a lot of it. So like this episode is just fucking fire. But it might just be because I have a bias to historicals. So that might just be a thing. But yeah. I'm happy. I'm happy this episode was as good as it was. I really am. The mosquitoes just flew by. I'm gonna murder that bitch as soon as I see it close to me. But I think we're done. I think we're done with this episode. I need to edit full length this night because I need to air this quite soon. So anyway, yeah, that was Doctor Who Series 12, Episode 4. That was really good. Alright, thank you so much for watching this episode reaction to a Doctor Who episode. If you maybe would like to see the next episode already, it's up on Patreon, maybe. Check first. Also full length. That is always up. Check the links in the description, and I'll see you next time, okay? Take care.